All right, guys, welcome back to the Imaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host, JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. If you're a member of the channel, massive respect to you lot. And how to become a member, please do click the join button. YouTube will help you along the way. So we have several topics today that we wanted to cover. I will drop the link so people can come on. As what I've said the other day, please have your camera ready, turn sideways so we can actually put you on the screen. All right. Yes. And for persons that have said I'm going to be playing game, I'm going to reload the game. I my schedule kind of get a little bit busy, so I won't be doing the game today. I know a lot of people do enjoy the game, so I'm very sorry about that. But we're going to try our best to bring the game back very soon. So anyways, we have CONCACAF Gold Cup draw W, that is. We wanted to talk about that. Then we have to talk about the Reggae Girls twice, the position that they've finished, which is third in their group, what that means, and how it's going to be looking for next year. We have to look at that. Bona Shaw didn't get a spot and was nominated in a award in Jamaica. I wanted to talk on that because I've heard Sportsmax talked on it with one of the persons them that in track and field, and he was giving some information, but I don't think he did Bona Shaw justice. So I wanted to touch that, and I hope I can drop the link so people could come on in that same time, so they could give me their take as well, because sometimes you are way more educated than me in actual what I would say in actual, for instance, track and field. So it's good to learn, but because I don't think he did football justice right there, that's the reason why I wanted to touch on that. And then we had Leon Bailey. We've talked to Leon Bailey yesterday, so we have gotten um a closer a closer update on the player, so we can give you that information. So if you see it work out that way in the selection, it's not because he's bad or he's not playing good or they are Aston Villa fighting against him. More likely it's based off his condition and how it goes in England. All right, yes, so that's why it's good to always give these updates. So if you're rewatching, please, as any one of the points them, just make sure you understand it properly. Yes, because someone clipped something yesterday and sent it to me, and I've realized that a lot of people lack understanding. So if you don't understand it properly, I am always here for you to contact me before you go and spurt garbage, which I've not said, or nothing close to that. But obviously, sometimes people like to live off your name, so it makes, it's madness. But we will avoid that because they are not worth it, believe me. Anyways, let me deal with the people inside. So we have our big bad 80 trending football. Massive respect. Thanks for being here. All right, it says, man, I'm not afraid of any player in the group that 80 might be in. Oh, I love the way you look at that, because you said might be in, so you're not counting 80's eggs early. Chris Smith, big up yourself. Float management, big up yourself. DNA, big up yourself. And Sheridan in the building already. Massive respect. So let me go through this part first before we get into the other sides. So the 2024 CONCACAF W Gold Cup will be the inaugural season of the CONCACAF W Gold Cup, an international women's soccer competition contested by the senior women's national teams of the Members Association of CONCACAF. The tournament will be contested by 12 teams from February 20th to March 10th, 2024. In the United States, 8 CONCACAF national teams will qualify for the tournament, joined by 4 guest teams from CONMEBOL. So the same thing that they're running, just like you had the Copa America. All right. Yes. So let me go through the format. Through the format, guys. All right. The format on December 10th. Okay, let me leave that because we know how they qualified. We talked about that. We covered it over and over. All right. The venues are not really needed. All right. So the qualifiers, United States, Canada, because Canada defeated Jamaica in the Olympic qualifiers, so they got the second auto spot without facing a group stage. Let me know if you guys are okay with that. Take of not facing a group stage. You've watched Canada enough and you've watched United States enough. You truly believe that any one of the teams that you saw in these groups could have defeated them. And remember, they wouldn't be in a group of two elite teams. So you wouldn't see them, them Mexico and Canada in the same group. So I don't think it. I based on all the teams I've seen Suriname, Curacao, Haiti, Costa Rica, Jamaica. None of the teams them would have beaten the USA. We have to be honest to ourselves. So I don't think it's a big problem for them to give USA a bye to the next round, because none of the teams them are as good as USA. I am very sorry. Even with Jamaica performed on par with USA at the World Cup. All right, context really matter. All right, context really matter. All right, yes, we are not on the same level as them, and I don't think ADR and I don't think Mexico at this point is just the same. All right, I truly believe that they deserve it, and Canada winning the Olympics qualifiers and going straight through, I think that is okay. I don't think the way it has been structured, none of these teams would have had any problems with their main team. All right, none of them at all. Let me know if you guys agree with that. Big up Sterling, S Technic, how you doing, man? And then Omar Fallen says, big up JD, early content cracks, content crack. Yeah, man, yeah, man. We just tried to start earlier so we can roll out of the building even earlier. All right. Then we have Mexico. Mexico looking very, very strong. Mexico definitely looking very, very strong, guys. They have won 2 competitions coming in, and they have battered everybody in their group. All right. Obviously, the last game finished 1-0 over Trinidad and Tobago, but Trinidad and Tobago couldn't win the game. We have to be honest, they couldn't win the game. All right. It was not. They are definitely looking better, and they are going to prove me right that they are going to be. I was saying, I think they are going to be in the run for third and fourth best, and if not, clearly third best by this thing finishes. I think so. I think Mexico is a team based on their depth that they have is going to be the third best. I've been saying that for a while now, and people said that I'm mad, but I think based on the way they are improving and the actual talents that they do have at a lower level, I do believe that they look like the ones that will take the third spot and fix it just like what they have done in all the other levels, which is Canada, United States, and Mexico. I think Mexico will do the catching up, and I don't think none of the teams then will catch up with them based on what they have structured for the next 4 years. Anybody that will kick off Mexico will have to that will have to happen after the next 4 years. I think that they are already the third best team in CONCACAF now. They are the third best team in CONCACAF now. I truly believe so. Even with everyone's squad being the best, they are the third best team in CONCACAF. The football that they are playing. Before you disagree with me, please go and watch them. They have played several quality teams that I've seen, not in the CONCACAF the Gold Cup qualifiers, but also worldwide. I've seen them enough, and I think they are the third best team at this point, based on how they can defend and how they can attack. Yeah, they can attack, but their defensive side is not the strongest. Jamaica can defend, but their attack is not the strongest. Costa Rica can pass the ball, but their attack is not the best. Their defense is not the best. Panama, clearly they are young. So I think I would still put Mexico ahead of all of them in the next 4-year cycle. Let me know your takes. Best as documentary, massive respect. Thanks for being here. Omar Foley said he agreed. Mexico was wasteful against TNT. Then we had Ann Ramsey in the building. Thanks very much, Ann Ramsey, for being here. Massive respect. All right, yes. So I'm just going through everything, but we stopped at the CONCACAF. The CONCACAF, because it's important, not because Jamaica is not there. All right, Yes, it's still equally as important as everything else. And then we have Cassie in the house. Big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Yeah, man. So I've seen them enough, and I have drawn my conclusion that they are playing football at a high level and a consistent level from all three turns. That I am almost worried for Canada. I think they could creep up on Canada in this 4-year cycle. So watch out for the Mexicans, all right? And I hope we could get to see them soon, but I don't think we're going to see them soon because we finish in third. And I think a lot of things might not go our way. Aside from the JFF and the Reggae Girls problem, based on just you not finishing in a good position, all of the other fixed competitions coming up, Reggae Girls will be out of the loop in the big talking. All right, they're gonna be ranked high, but in the big talking, they're going to be out of the loop. All right, Panama qualified as well. Costa Rica qualified as well. And then the qualification spots, you know that 80 will be up for a spot right there. All right, 80 will be up for a spot. Let me get the exact spots them for you. Just give me a second because I've shared it on my Twitter. So let me give it exact spots. All right, we know that 80 should be taking on Puerto Rico, I think. Let me give it to you right here. 80 Guyana versus Dominican Republic, 80 versus Puerto Rico, and El Salvador versus Guatemala, the team that qualified ahead of us. All right, so Group A has United States, Mexico, Argentina, and Guyana, Dominican Republic. I have slightly favored the Dominican Republic. Guyana looks like a good team. They are doing good work, but I still kind of favor Dominican Republic. They have done things over the years that I do believe that they're progressing a little bit faster than even Guyana. All right, Brazil, Panama, Colombia, and 80 Puerto Rico. That is where 80 football said he doesn't fear none of these teams. I think Colombia is a good team and Brazil is a good team. So it's very harsh for you to say that you don't fear none of these teams, 80. I think if 80 makes it out of this group, this would be a good display from 80. I'm very sorry, 80 football. Uh, I am disagree with your 80 football. You said I don't fear nobody in this group. I don't think 80 is the favorites to come out of this group. All right. I think Brazil and Colombia is the favorites to come out of this group. The good thing is you should have the two best third place to make up the final eight. All right. So 80 could come out as one of the best third place here. If you guys see Panama as the weak fence, and that's if 80 should pass Puerto Rico. So it's a lot of ifs. All right. Yes, it's a lot of ifs. All right. Let me big up the persons that inside the chat. As you come in, make sure to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Sadna, big up yourself. Jason, big up yourself. I Revives. Group B is a group of death. I agree with you right there. I Revives. I agree with you right there. 80 not coming out of that group. Oh my God, I Revives. You don't even give me a chance to speak. Caicedo is injured, and Colombia, she's the key to Colombia. Lovely Beauty, I don't think that Caicedo is the key to Colombia play. Caicedo don't have to play, and Colombia is equally as good. I think they thrive on one of their big strikers to lean to bring the forwards and the attacking midfielder through. It doesn't have to be Caicedo. I'm very sorry. Caicedo is extremely talented. One of the main young players in the world. I put her top 3 in the world of young players, but she don't have to be there. We saw, remember, Caicedo was not the problem for Jamaica. The problem was the big, strong, physical human being of a player. Yes. So we have no, she can be replaced, but once they have their target forward that comes off the wing and then link up the plays, it's seriously of a problem. But I am not diminishing the quality of the player. I'm just telling you that the keenness that you're talking about might just go down to the big forward. I forgot her name. Somebody will turn up with her name in the chat. Yeah, man, she gave Jamaica one hell of a problem. Our backline failed to deal with that player, and that was our main problem at the start. That big striker. Yeah, man. Young Kings, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. She's supposed to be back for Real Madrid next month. Yeah, man. So that means she will be good because that is way in February, March. Michael, Thomas, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Joseph Brown, big up yourself. Massive respect. Well, she's one of their key. Guzman is still there. Yeah, but Guzman is young. Which one of the Guzman are talking? If it's the good Guzman that play wing back, she is young. She is young. She is young. All right. She and both of them came out of the U20s. That is true. Colombia a big. No, I don't know why people think that Colombia is a small side. Myra, okay. All right. I think all the teams in Group B are on the same level, and Caicedo is in no form right now. All Brazil, Panama, Colombia, and if 80 are all on the same level, I don't believe so. Brazil is better than slightly better than all of them. Colombia is slightly better than the next two. And then 80 and Panama have to fight it out. We have to be honest and unbiased, guys. All right? Honest and unbiased. All right? Yes, we have to be honest and unbiased. Okay? Yes. 80 and Panama is not on the same level as Colombia and Brazil. Why are we like that? Why are we like that? We have to be honest, guys. We're not talking about Jamaica, so we can be honest. We're talking about two other teams. Brazil is better than Panama by a billion miles. Brazil is better than Jamaica by a good stretch too. And Brazil is better than Haiti as well. All right? And Brazil is slightly better than Colombia as well. All right? Yes. We don't fool ourselves. All right? Yeah, man. Every team in this group is not on the same level. Domani has been injured too. Yes, they said she went off for surgery. Bless up JD. Yeah, that's the player. I know the player. I just don't remember her name because obviously I'm live. Catalina Guzman, Colombia all-time goal scorer. Okay, you're mixing. Because I thought you were talking the young Guzman coming through. That's the one that I was actually talking about. Father Bling, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Massive respect. I selfishly wanted Colombia with Canada. Need more top games for the ladies. All right, Africans, we'll drop the link so you can come on if you have time. And also others can come on if they do wish to. All right, make sure you can have your camera on. If you don't have a camera on, you just pass this one and join it next time. All right, because I want to have a standard for my show going forward. All right, so the camera will be very much important. All right, so if you don't have the camera, I'm not going to let you on. Principle is principle. I have to start somewhere, guys. We must start somewhere, and it is today. We have to start with somebody turning on their damn camera, or they can't come on. I'm very sorry. Haiti can beat Panama, though. Yes, I have not said Haiti can't beat Panama. I think Haiti is better than Panama. Slightly better than Panama, though, because Haiti has their problems as well. All right, let me be honest and unbiased. All right, all of the top 4 to 5 teams have serious challenges in departments. All right, yes, and Haiti has problems here and there, just the same like Jamaica, just the same like Panama, just the same like Costa Rica. But I would put Haiti, Jamaica, and Costa Rica slightly ahead of Panama. Yeah. All right, so that is the Group B. All right, so Group A, let me pick who will come out of that so we can move on to the rest of the conversation. All right, Haiti and Panama are on the same level. No, Haiti is better than Panama. Haiti is better than Panama, brother. I revise. You watch football, Haiti is better than Panama. Yes. And Jamaica is better than Panama. Not the Jamaica that played Panama the last time. The Jamaica that plays Panama in the World Cup is better than Panama. You understand me? Yes, both of those teams are better than Panama. So United States, Mexico, Argentina, Damrip, or Guyana, who coming out of that group? you have to pick two and then pick the extra one. All right, that you think you. I think you won't get the extra one out of this group because I think Mexico and the United States will beat everybody in this group. So maybe the best third place won't be coming out of this group. What say you guys? Let me know. Uh, Argentina is okay, but I saw Argentina in the World Cup and they can be got at, So I am not 100% sure if Argentina picks up enough points because Damrep can play football and can cause Argentina enough problems to maybe even get a draw or maybe lose the game, but don't lose the game to the highest score line. You understand me? Yes. In Flickan side, I can see 80 blast Panama 4-5-0 in the same game because of the players them that they do have. And they could even lose the game 1-0 to Panama. You understand me? Yes. And I can see 80 upsetting Colombia. And maybe Brazil, I could see it. But it's going to be a big upset though. I'm not. Put a draw. I could see 80 getting a draw against Colombia and beating Panama. So I think with that said, 80 could be one of the best third places right there. And Paraguay, Costa Rica, Canada, and Guatemala. This is a weaker group. This is definitely a weaker group. All right. Yes. So we have Africans joining the stream. All right. So let me put Sir Africans here. Good day, Sir Africans. Hope all is well.
Everything's all right. It's treating me well so far, so no complaints. But yeah,
give me a fast rundown as to what I've talked on because I've chopped up the ladies football. Exciting times. Sadly, Jamaica is not there because I wanted to see Jamaica amongst these teams, to be honest. Now I'm kind of looking at things a little bit different,
Okay. How so?
But I can't pick two sides. I have to stick to my side that I picked before, Yes.
No, so I think they're good. I think they're good groups. Ultimately, I think they're a little bit more. I'd say balanced, but they're interesting groups on that aspect. I think that group B is probably going to be the more fun group to watch. That's because the teams in it. I said it in the chat. I selfishly wanted Canada with Colombia, just because I like games that will push them. And then if that means, if they lose a game here, because we all know the tradition for Canada, somehow they'll play Brazil somewhere, somehow they'll play the USA, and like clockwork, that's what it is. So I think ultimately it's a good group. Group B is the group I will be looking at the most. Looking at the other groups, I think the one that intrigues me, you have Mexico finishing in second in that group. I have Argentina going second in Group A.
You always find a way to eat in Mexico,
See, but this is why I'm fine with saying it with you, and it's not that because I think Argentina, on paper, Mexico should be better than them, but Argentina is that defensive team that can get results, and on a counter, maybe they can get it done. What? Like that on your face. I see that look. It's all good. I think Argentina and Mexico is a lot closer than we realize it'll be. Now, maybe when we get to the date, Mexico gives them 7 love and says, "Hey, Africans, eat those words." And that's possible.
You just seen the Mexican team, Africans, in several tournaments. You saw that they're working and they're stretching their squads. Are you not impressed with that? Because they play quality teams, Africans. So I don't know. Every time I've seen Argentina, the same team, they have not impressed.
And that's fair. That is very fair. But my perspective is, look, I may not like how Argentina is, but their baseline is rather consistent, right? They're going to play defensively. They're going to try to get a couple counter opportunities, and that's where they're going to try to get their opportunities to win the game 1-2 like that. Mexico is much more of our boom or bust team, right? Mexico, for everything we've seen, they could perform well. But then the one problem I have with Mexico is Mexico at major tournaments. For whatever reason, they just, especially the lady side, for whatever reason, they just aren't. They don't perform at major tournaments. So it's one of those things where I have to see it for me to say, okay, now I can continue to go through it. Because Mexico, when they hosted
CONCACAF W, hosted and got beat, and then beat. Right, 2 years ago for our 4 years before that for Olympic qualifiers, beat, and beat again. So
Yeah, but
Mexico is a good side.
Africans, but the way you play, they kept playing the same way. And then after they just got results against good teams. So does that not change anything? Are you just saying that when it comes on the tournament, you might just go back to the same standard? I don't believe that, because if you play games and keep on improving, because for instance, how can you say that Canada is getting better if it's not the games that you're using to identify if they are getting better? And these girls have played over 13 games since then. And majority of those games, they've won against good opponents, aside from Jamaica. And the Jamaica that we're talking, guys, it's not the Jamaica that we know. It is the weaker Jamaica team. We played them in 2 different competitions, and we got 7 both times. You understand me? So it is not the right Jamaica team. I would love to see them back with the right Jamaica team. And to be honest, with the right Jamaica team, I saw them play Jamaica, and I was still impressed as to how they could play through the line. I think they should keep their same style of football, and then they will surpass Canada.
I don't think that's coming anytime soon, JD. So you can have that confidence, but I don't see that coming anytime soon. I think though the problem, look, we've seen the results from Mexico. There's no doubt that team has improved, but I hate to be this simple about it, but there are levels to this. Now we're at Gold Cup W. There are no soft teams, for lack of better words. There may be 1 or 2, but the amount of space to thing, like, I love what Puerto Rico's doing at the women's level. Puerto Rico and Mexico should not be playing where the games are that tight, right? Mexico has more. Mexico.
The game, Africans, the games of Puerto Rico, Mexico was not tight. It was the scoreline. Africans, we were watching the game together. Mexico,
and you gotta, I'm not denying that. At some point, you have to put away those chances, JD. You could have
Africans. The start of it is to create the chances. African,
no doubt.
You see why I'm the prediction king? It is because I've watched these things. See, once and JD finish.
You see this head? No need for a crown. This head has no need for a crown. We're good. But no, you're not wrong with that, and you need to create chances. But this is the whole paradox with like a team like Haiti, right? Haiti will create a bunch of chances, and then one game they'll score 15, and then the next it'll be 1, none, 1, none, 1, none. At some point, you have to put them away, and at least. Look, Haiti is consistent that way. They'll create chances. The question is today the day they'll convert to, or is today the day that they won't convert at all, and they'll just be playing that swashbuckling style now with more passing, right? The problem with Mexico is that's how their style is playing has been well. It hasn't been tested against top teams at their fullest yet. So I'm a bit hesitant, and it's the same thing I was saying before. Argentina, on paper, is not a better team than Mexico. But Argentina's baseline is more consistent. I know what I'm getting from them. They're going to be defensively solid. They'll try to hit a couple counters, get their goals, and then win their game that way. That's Argentina. Mexico is a boom or bust team. They could come up, give Argentina 7 love, or they can get beat 2-0 by Argentina off 2 goals on the counter. That's just a reality of Mexico. So I need to see it more consistently. If they show it this tournament, yeah, my tone changes completely. But now...
Well, I've seen it over 2 tournaments, and I think the team is better than the credit that you're giving them. But they're going to teach you because they taught in youth 17s and 20s. And they're coming back to teach
and JD, and when they reach and then when they reach the senior team, where's their Olympics? Where's their World Cups? Where's their?
You can take all the praise. You're in America going on good. Yes,
but I'm just...
they're coming. They're coming. That's all I've said. So
JD,
all right. I went for Mexico and the United States. Africans went for Argentina and United States. So both persons went for United States, and I think most of you guys rewatching this video will say United States coming through. Big up yourself, Triple E, and then big up yourself, Warrior 777 says, morning, JD and all. JFF wanted to dispose of the girls and using the B team, but it backfired. And now there's a great setback in the girls program. Yeah, but once they never qualified, the setback was going to come. It was going to come regardless of what we think. You had to qualify to keep it going over, and that's what's going on in ladies football. To be honest, you had to qualify to keep it rolling over. All right, because the ladies football getting a tight niche now that they're pumping money in one set of things. All right, they're not just going all over the place. They're trying to make sure they get some concrete tournaments, so you know that this is what's happening next year. And so you have the full-fledged Nations League now, and then you have the full-fledged Gold Cup at this point. And obviously the Gold Cup serves as a Copa America style, So and I think they have done a brilliant job. So what you made of this tournament, Africans, I think it's going to be extremely good, and it was well needed.
Oh yeah, I think you needed that tournament because even if you look at CONCACAF W 2 years or last year or whatever it was, 2 years ago, there were like good teams, there was the middle class teams, and then there was 6 and 7 for everyone. So ultimately you need to bring it, especially at the women's level, you need to bring in as many of the good teams as possible. So this competition, this collaboration with CONMEBOL and CONCACAF, I think it's important. I would have liked, personally, if I'm going to be greedy, I would have liked this to be a 16-team tournament versus a 14, versus a 12-team tournament.
12, yeah.
Yeah, because I think if you do that, then maybe you throw in another South American team, but then also now you look at some of those other fringe CONCACAF teams which are building, get them the exposure on this level. And yes, maybe you do get them lose a game 7-8 now, but it's like, okay, now you see where you're chasing and you go from there. But I like this. It's tight. There's not much room. Even that, like, the playoff teams are all going to be competitive. They'll all have a game under their belt. And that's the thing that we don't look at. Those playoff teams are playing on the 17th. The winner prelim start on the 20th. So they have one game where they're already at that intensity. And then the next game that they're playing a team that has been prepping for this. So look for some upsets for some of those playoff teams. Maybe are to play a lot better in those first games that they have. But I think ultimately I like what they're doing with this. I mean, I have my issues with the women's game right now, which I think they're growing a little bit too fast for the players and for the structure that they have.
So when you say too fast, the money that they're pumping in it, especially on the American side, the big money, that's what you're complaining about?
No, I'm talking about in terms of the structure of, like, the one thing that we've seen in the women's game over the last few years is this rash of injuries, right? Achilles, knees, legs, a lot of that. And for me, it's a lot of just schedule, how compact the schedule is. Right?
Okay,
there aren't as many. And so if you look at like Europe all of a sudden has full-fledged Nations League. And I think when you kill the friendly, then you miss out on opportunities where you can actually bring in a duel to come in and see the program and play with no pressure. But then also because every game's important, you're going club to national team, back to club, playing club to national team, back to club, playing, and like there's no adequate rest. I know there's more that goes into it, but for me, if I'm trying to save the game from itself, like they need to slow down on that expansion. Not to say that they shouldn't be making it. I think there is, but do it in a wise way where you can.
Africans,
the problem is the money,
JD. A lot of money in it. So
I agree.
They saw the World Cup success and they said, "Listen to me, man. Money, money, money. Here is 1 billion here. Here is 1 billion here. I heard I don't remember the lady's name from Netherlands that coaches England. You remind me. But
yeah,
she said the same thing as you. She's just hoping that the level of the football rise as to all the money that you're putting in, because sometimes you can force the money in and the quality don't improve because you start spacing out everything, and then people have to load manage like our NBA manage over here, and said, okay, I'm not going to put 100% in the Champions League because I have 2 Nations League game over there, I have a Gold Cup game there, so I have to make sure I gauge myself to go through a longer season. So I do agree with you right there. You're on point. You're on point. I agree, but it's just the money, guys. The ladies' game is getting extremely big, and Jamaica missed out on a big piece of pie. And also, even the players, they missed out on a big promotion because they're going to use this to push ladies football in the entire Americas and Caribbean region. And Jamaica will not be there. The only place I saw Jamaica is in some of the highlights them as to when other people scoring goals on Jamaica. You know, yes. So that's what I saw there so far, and I'm sad when I looked at it. But obviously, I knew that the girls them were standing for something. So I just said, okay, you know what? Let me overlook it because obviously people have to stand for something, and I'm not gonna go back on that. But anyways, because we have a pack scheduled today, to trap up. So you said Argentina, United States, and I go for my Mexico. Not ruling out Mexico. You get
That's
me?
fine.
Yes. Not throwing away Mexico.
I'm a wait and see. I'm a wait and see for Mexico. So
and I agree. Yeah. I agree. You have to prove something, yes. But because they have proved it to me over two tournaments so far, it's hard for me to say that I can't give them respect. No, three tournaments. They have played 3 tournaments, in that little time. All right. So in the next group now, Brazil, Panama, Colombia, Haiti, Puerto Rico. Let me see if you have the same feelings on that one.
So I'm going Brazil 1. There's too much talent on that team not to finish 1, but I lied. I don't have Brazil finishing 1 in this group. I have Colombia finishing 1 in this group. I am very high on Colombia. Caicedo or not, I'm very high on that team. So I have Colombia finishing 1 in that group. And look, Marta Cox, I respect the game that she has. Panama will be doing many good things in CONCACAF, but I think Panama makes it out of this group in 3rd place. But don't be surprised if Brazil every once in a while has an egg of a game, right? Where they come and then you're looking at them and you're saying, okay, for the talent that they have versus the result that they'll have that every once in a while. Am I saying that's going to happen against Panama? No. It will probably happen against Colombia because of familiarity, but I am going with the 3 making it out of this group, and it's going to be the 3 that are there. The wild card is going to be, if Haiti makes it out of this group, chaos. Because Haiti, again, 20 chances. Which one of the games will they convert their goals? That's going to be the question. If it's Puerto Rico, it's a solid 3-0 for most of the teams playing that team. Not to say that Puerto Rico is a bad side, but I think Haiti provides more challenging and dynamic counter and play than Puerto Rico does. But we'll see what happens in their game. If Haiti makes it out, I think only 2 teams make it out of this group because they'll take points off each other. If Puerto Rico makes it out, I think the 3 that are listed right now make it out of the group.
Okay, all right. So you said Colombia, and then you're not sure who's second. He said,
yeah.
What's in that battle, Africans today?
Water.
Okay. Oh my God, Jesus Lord, people! I am not agreeing with Africans. I have
that's
Brazil
fine.
winning this.
Okay.
Brazil winning this one.
Yes.
Winning it. Yes.
You should say it again, JD, so they can hear you.
Winning the group, Brazil. Brazil winning the group. Colombia will scrape a 2nd spot, and Haiti will beat Puerto Rico, and Haiti will come in front of Panama. I do agree with you. I think that this group will take 3 from it. Yes, this is one of the groups that will take 3 from it. Yes, I do agree there. And I think Haiti will make that 3. All right? Yes. Good Lord.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Let me hear what people says. USA, Mexico, Argentina, and Dam Rep. All right. Young King says JFF always fail because of their incompetence. I'm so over the USA winning, woman winning everything everything major in CONCACAF. Well, we have to be better. If we can't be better, we can't win nothing. Brazil, Colombia, Haiti 3rd, Panama 4th. Haiti will make it out of the group. Lovely Beauty, yes, it's a possibility, and that's what I have. Canada, okay, we can't, we never reached there yet, so we're gonna skip that comment and go back to it. I think Colombia is in trouble. All right. Heard Ben Godfrey and other joining other player joining the team. I don't know nothing about that Young Kings, and I don't know where you get the information from, but when I have it on the table, I will bring it to you. Big up Duckland, massive respect. Mr. United said, I wonder how the JFF feel hearing this. Well, big money involved and we ain't getting none. We have to rely on the FIFA money always and the CONCACAF grants, Yes. Yes, it's a
There's a
big
comment
deal.
I can make, JD, but I'll just say this: they have to rely on the FIFA money, the one that they've paid or haven't paid. Which one?
I don't know. I don't know. Let
Okay.
we leave it alone. Because you will say I brought my Canadian friend to disrespect Jamaica. You understand me?
It's a tough life, JD. It's a tough life.
Africans, I'm trying to not get cancelled. Africans, people, if you just came in, please do it the like button, share, and subscribe. All right, yeah, man. At least get your 100 likes on this video. I know it's not your chaos type of video because obviously Jamaica never really involved in the 40 minutes, so it's not chaotic as yet. All right, so group 3, let's run through group 3 so we can go to the other things, and because we have Shaw on the list and also the Reggae Girls. All right, Canada, Costa Rica, Paraguay, El Salvador, Guatemala.
It's a good group. I think I have Canada winning this group.
Yes, I know.
Of the 3 groups, I think this is the easier of the 3 groups. Outside of that, I think the U.S. will have an easier time going through the group than Canada will. If the U.S. wins every game like 3-4-0, Canada will maybe get a 2-0 based off of the teams. We always play Costa Rica now, it seems like. Them and Brazil, so let's just keep it going from there. I'm curious to see what their 3-4-2-1 looks like now. Against Paraguay is a team I'm intrigued by because I didn't get this. They lost out to who did they lose out to in qualifiers for the World Cup? Because they were in the playoff and they lost to, I think it was Panama.
You're sure it's Panama? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up real quick right here. But regardless,
make sure it's not Portugal. I know Portugal had to play through Europe to come, so
yeah,
I don't think it's Portugal. But anyways, no, that was Chile. They said that was Chile.
Okay, that was Chile. Okay, thanks.
We will figure that out soon. Yeah. But I think you're sleeping on Paraguay. Paraguay is very good. I think they're gonna cause Canada also the problem. And I have to pull you back on that one. You said that Mexico seems to play down to the competition and sometimes in their group. But I have to say the same thing about Canada. Canada's just coming off of a big field World Cup. A big field World Cup. And also a big field performance against Jamaica.
JD, we all agreed that Group B was a group of death.
Yes.
And this is not an excuse. This is a fact. We all looked and said, two of these 4 teams can make it out, and there's no surprise.
Yes,
so
but we have Canada,
are we?
the big dogs.
And no, I will defend my flag. I will defend my flag, JD. I think, look, Canada is in a transition year, which is, I think, a fair point to bring up. We don't know. We haven't seen this group on its own going through. This is the first tournament without Sinclair, without Schmidt, probably still without Chapman. So a lot of the veterans that you're used to seeing aren't going to be there. There's still some good young players that are there. So I don't know what they'll look like. It's going to be their first time where adversity will come after them where they go. A low-key interesting thing I'll be watching for Canada is what they do in goal. I think, look, Sheridan is the best shot stopper of the 3 goalkeepers they have.
Yes.
But D'Angelo has better distribution. It sounds like a conversation we have sometimes with another certain team that plays with different colors and such.
Yes, continue, sir. Continue.
And so because all right, JD, I mean, give me one quick second here, okay?
All right, no problem. All right, so Africans will rally back. Let me go to my normal display right here until the great Africans turn up. Let me make sure we can set that here. Layout, so I can put it to the side right there. All right, so So Canada, Costa Rica, Paraguay, and Guatemala. I do see Canada qualifying. That is true, but I do see Paraguay in the second spot. I think Paraguay is a good team. Them and Costa Rica will battle it out. It's going to be an entertaining one, you know? Yes, but Canada cannot pass this hook because Canada have played down to their competition in several games. So we have to be mindful of the Canadian team, you know? Yes. Nobody can tell me the nothing intelligent Juventus and then Real Baller involved and Real Baller. Let me get Real Baller comment. He said Jesus days they need to cancel the whole thing. Jamaica not in it. So I don't know why you would want it cancelled because I do believe that these teams provide good information as to where we will see ladies football, you know. Yes, definitely we would love to see Jamaica in it. That is definitely true. But if Jamaica is not there, based on footballing, what I saw from these teams, I have no biggie. You know, I will watch it just the same. And I will watch it just the same and enjoy it because I remember my football person, you know, I like football. I like to watch it over and over. So I have no problem, but I would love for Jamaica to be there so we can have something to cheer for. But I will still watch it and enjoy it, if not a little bit more, because when Jamaica playing, you have to be cursing out. No, I don't have any dog in the fight, so I can actually watch it and analyze it, and nobody on my back saying that I can't talk this way and that way, you know. So all of those things put into context I'm talking about. All right. So I will enjoy it. I will enjoy it. So yes, Africans, we are going to wrap up that big bad ladies talk so far. So in Jamaica, you had an award. I wanted other people to give their take. I will take it from the comment section and also under the video. Let me know. They have named I think it's a top 5. They but it was a strong conversation on Sportsmax. I don't know who took it in, but I know a lot of you guys watch most of these programs. So Khadija Shah and none of the Reggae Girls were nominated, and they went into all sorts of metrics to say that Sharika Jackson was the best, our top 3, 1 to 3 in our field overall. So it's hard for and all the others them made it over Bona Shaw. But when I've looked at it, I think it's very tough to say the way they have dealt with it, the way they have talked on it. I don't think it's fair, as though they're talking at it like saying that Bona Shaw did nothing at the World Cup 2023, but Bona Shaw won the CONCACAF 2023 best player. All right, which I don't think it. I think it serves from 2022, but she won that. She was a record breaker in Manchester City team, which is one of the best leagues in the world. She was instrumental in them qualifying. She was their best player qualifying for the World Cup, and she made the Ballon d'Or bet. And our season that she started with, which is 2023, is still on an elite level. I don't think what they have explained was the right way, because they have talked about all sorts of things. Oh, she's not top 2 in her field. But I don't think track and field is as competitive as ladies football. I'm very sorry. And it's not because of you have some exceptional athletes only. I think it's because the pool is smaller than worldwide football. So for you to be the best hands down player in football, it's going to be astronomically harder than track and field. So I think it's hard. I think it's harsh the way they have set it up, so these girls cannot get in, you know. And I think it's not fair, because you could put Bona Shaw on the same par as Sharika Jackson, the same damn par, because of the difficulties that you faced in football and because it's a team sport. So I think the way they have explained themselves as to why they don't have her in it and who they would put ahead of her, I think it's goddamn disrespectful. And this shows me a lot about our culture as Jamaica.
But that nothing here is surprising to me because I could have just looked at it and said, "Yeah, they all have medals." And Bunny didn't get Bunny. Bunny in her moment on the big stage didn't perform, as they would say. Even though it's all the things. Now, I think she should have won it? I don't know if she could have won it based off of the names that were there. Should she have been nominated as like a hey, look at what this team has done, and we'll just even if it was just a token saying she's the best player, so we're gonna throw in a nominee because she and what the Reggae Girls did all year. This is our way of saying yes, our female athletes of the year. That should have been what should have happened. I'm not there. I don't make these rules. I don't have citizenship to have these rules. But I think ultimately I think the last half of the year probably hurts the Reggae Girls in terms of their recognition because let's be real, up until the end of Olympic qualifiers, we were still talking about this team for look at what they've accomplished, look at what they are doing. After that, then the conversation, they're not playing, they have their reasons for that. Most will support them for that. But I think with that being the case, if I look at that, when you told me everything, JD, it doesn't surprise me because ultimately, when the culture and the mindset is you have to win to be recognized, and ultimately, yes, they made it out of their group. Yes, they won one game. Yes, they got to the Olympic qualifiers. by their definition and their metrics, they did not win. Therefore, should we recognize them, even though they had an amazing year? So it's not surprising looking from the outside looking in. I wish even if they put like Rebecca Spence and said, "Hey, she was a great goalkeeper," but they needed someone from that team that ultimately represented that team. And if they didn't do that, I think it's a little bit of a disservice based off what they've done, and the recognition and the respect that team has now on the international stage.
Guys, I have not said she should have won it. I have no problem with Jackson winning it. But I'm just saying the evaluation and picking 5 players, you don't have 5 people in Jamaica that performed better than Bona Shaw on a worldwide level for 2023. That's just not true. All right, that's all I'm saying. No matter which metric you're going to use, it's a real balance. So Bona Shaw should have been given. No, we never said Bona Shaw should have given nothing. We have talked about the nominations for the top 5 spot. Bona Shaw, come listen to me now. Real baller. I mean, I know if I troll, you troll, but if you cannot name 5 people in a Jamaica sport that performed better than Bona Shaw, no matter which metric you're using. Because I'm telling you, I'm listening to the guy, and I heard him saying she come 20 hard in the Ballon d'Or race. The reason why a billions of dollars being spent in football, because football is a much more harder to top sport. So 20 hard could still rank top 5 in track and field. That's what it's pretty much saying. I when I heard the man saying that, it's like, I don't know what kind of vibe I got from the guy when he said that, bruh. You have not watched the girl. You have not keep up with the girl. I think we are doing them a disrespect. There, she should have made the top 5, not just based off just the World Cup, but based off what she have done, bringing them to the World Cup, and also what she have done in her actual career, which is her club career. That's all we're saying. You get me? If she don't win it, no problem. If she don't win it, no problem. All we're saying is she should easily well make the top 5. Because you cannot tell me 5 people that did better than her. You can't tell even real baller. Please tell me 5 persons in Jamaica that perform better than the girl. You cannot tell me 5 people, real baller. You're going to make up every story, and I'm waiting on your real baller to return. I've listened to it. I've listened to the conversation on Sports Max, and it's like they have a slight back on hatred of these girls, which I don't like it. I think if we're honest, we are just honest. Go and do your research, what the persons have done, Africans, and then base it off what they have done. The rules, how they have picked them, I've read all of the rules, and she surpassed all of those rules with flying colors. because she broke history in an actual competition that is being deemed as the first in the world. You understand me? And obviously, I still don't have her as the best striker in the world, but she has done something that we have to give her respect for. And the way they talk down on the person, it is just amazing, Africans. I know that if it's in Canada, they don't even keep an award. They just give it to her. You understand me? But that is a big difference, you know?
No, it's funny you say that, because even this year we're talking about who's going to be our women's footballer of the year, and we're just like, look, do we just give it to Sinclair because it's our way of saying thank you, or are we honestly objective and say, hey, it's the end of the era, but such and such player had a better year ultimately? And I think, like you said, the argument isn't about her winning. I don't think her year compared to what others. I mean, we saw what Sharika Jackson did this year. I think ultimately it's the recognition and the nomination that matters, because if people want to boil it down to just the World Cup, sure, the year wasn't just a World Cup, right? There's the fact that she led the WSL in scoring. Like, it's the exactly right. It's the fact that she has won. She's the CONCACAF Women's Footballer of the Year over everyone. Like, I don't think we give our region credit sometimes, because it's like, oh, it's just CONCACAF. Okay, maybe on the men's side you can say it's just CONCACAF. On the women's side, there are names here that are doing things, right? And maybe they didn't have their best year at the World Cup or on the stage, but to be acknowledged as the best player, yes, fan vote and all, in this region means something on the women's side, because you have all the Canadians, you have all the Americans, you have the players that you forgot existed in the Caribbean that are still there, right? The Central American players who are coming, right? It's not about winning for me. To me, it's ultimately about just the acknowledgement. You're not going to win every award, right?
Yes.
Like I saw the best example I hear. It's like, yeah, the right person doesn't always win, right? Lewandowski didn't win his best year, and then they gave it to Messi, and that happens. But if you want to be a cynic about it, you can at least say, at least he was nominated, right? At least we could recognize he had an amazing year, but we're going to give it to this person. But at least that recognition matters. So I think for me, the fact that no player on that team, yes, Bunny would have been the best player to recognize, but the fact that she wasn't even nominated either speaks to the mindset that is no trophies, no recognition, or it's more of a, well, there's nothing there. So I'm not sure what it is, and we'll have to wait and see. Ultimately, we have to wait for that whole situation to resolve itself. And then from there, when they get back on the pitch, then it's a new conversation about what they're trying to do moving forward. Yeah. So I think when you look at, in terms of stories, track is always going to be king in Jamaica. There's no doubt about it. But for what that team has done and how much that team has grown this year and the respect and recognition they have internationally now, I am, from the outside looking in, I am surprised that there's not at least one reggae girl that's nominated as a collective nomination, right? Even if they said, hey, it's Drew Spence and we're going to put there, or Rebecca Spence, and whichever Spence you fancy, and you just put her there, and it's like, this is for the team for what they've done, that's fine. But I think ultimately the nomination would have been appreciated, but that's just me.
All right, so guys, we have not even have 100 likes on the video, and we have done a hour here. So I guess it's pure haters in the chat today, rather than the people that actually support the content. So if you never hit the like button by mistake, please do so. If you're a hater, well, I don't know what to say to you. All right, yeah, man. So the real persons keep on subscribing to the conversation. Big up yourself, Tennessee. Massive respect. Lanzi says Bonnie became the all-time highest goal scorer for JA, male or female. The only reason she was not selected is the okay, I think you're saying bad mind. I know what you're saying. Bonnie could have gotten an Emmy. That's all I'm saying. You know, great player, but poor leader. So what that have to do with it? You said it never said nothing in the rules. It never said nothing about leadership, real baller. It says nothing about if real baller don't like her. It says what you have done at even Caribbean level, and she moved from a Caribbean level and did it on the world stage. She break a record on a world stage in the toughest league in the world, and then qualified Jamaica to a World Cup. All right, so your argument have nothing to hold a stand on, Mr. Real Baller. Nothing. All right, JD and Africans, have you been following the women's Olympic qualifiers? No England or Sweden. Of course, we have big bad England. I should have done a video on that here, but because people would say that I'm bad-minded, Harry Vibes, I've just left it alone. I saw it a long time. What are you talking about? Remember, I've covered Nigeria, so I know it. England never made it through. Yeah, man. But, yeah, people said that I'm bad-minded England every single day, which is not true. But I was just trying to tell people that England is not at that level where they're putting them at. But, yeah.
I think the thing was, but the thing with England, and I think England fell prey to a lot of things, and like the schedule is one thing, and the other thing,
Belgium and Netherlands was in their group, right? Belgium and Netherlands was in the group. Yes,
I think, this is where I've grown, and I want to say, like, I think the Olympics should just be a U23 tournament, personally, just so that you.
Why?
JD, you're, because especially on the women's side, you're asking them to play. Where are the breaks? Where's the rest? I know you do this as a profession, but where's the breaks? Where's the rest? You're gonna play Olympics, go back to club.
Medal,
I get that, JD, and I'm not saying don't get the medal, but I'm saying if you expand this way too much without now you're adding Nations League. You already have Olympics that you're going. Now you also have continental tournaments. You have World Cup. I'm not saying don't play for your country, but I'm saying how do I protect them from themselves, right? And for me, I'm like, okay, just make that a youth tournament. The game is still growing. There's still a lot of talented players out there. Why not still have the Olympic size?
I would like to watch ladies football, and I want to watch all of the tournaments and see all of the best players then.
You can.
Yes, I want.
Okay,
to.
Jason.
And
okay,
I want
Jason.
to. Yes, I like it. Yes, England never made it. I am. Listen to you see these things. Look how JD is smiling when he's talking about England. Oh my God. Yes. Africans, you see what you brought on me? They are saying that I'm bad-minded England. And that is not true. I am just giving you that I was watching it, but I couldn't report on it because you guys are going to say the same thing. Big up, how you doing, man? The mighty Dutch, all right. Yes, so England finished second, Belgium finished third on 8 points. England lost two games in the actual group. So that was a big hit for England. Yes, and they lost the Netherlands. They lost to Belgium. Belgium is a team that pretty much knocked them out, and they lost the Netherlands once. They turn around and defeat the Netherlands in the next one, but they beat Belgium, beating them, knocked them out pretty much. All right. Yes, so let me chip in the other things, and because we had Liam Bailey to talk about. Liam Bailey, I've read something. Unai Emery gave some updates 6 hours ago. I think it's about 7 hours now, because obviously we're on for an hour. No. No, I'm not bad-minding England, Rich Toy. That's the problem. I am not going to accept it. I am not bad-minding England. All right. So Liam Bailey, he's saying that Liam Bailey and Yuri Tillemans, from Belgium, they are going to assess them after coming into training and see how it's going to go. And they said it's fatigue. They think it's fatigue. All right, but they're gonna check Liam Bailey a little bit more. All right, so if you see him don't play the full 90 minutes, it's not because he's not good. It's more of him not having the fitness level at this point, and also his injury record, and also the amount of games coming around and around and around and around and around. So that is the problem with the player at this point. So they're assessing him, and we will learn about it in the next day or so. All right. Let me move on. We are not going to pay Jason Gunnar, none of them in the chat, any mind. We are going to only read the messages that can go to the arguments that we are putting forward. All right. Yes. So anyway, so Liam Bailey, what you made of Liam Bailey's recent form, and do you think that what are you saying that you thought that with 3 years he could have figured this out, like to stay fit and can play all of these games? Because let me give you Liam Bailey's literal minutes. His minutes been very much on the low side, to be honest. Liam Bailey on the low side in the Premier League. Yes, very, very low side. And in the Premier League, minutes per game in the Premier League. In the Conference League, it's 75 minutes. In the Premier League, it's 42 minutes. 42 minutes. I think that is not good for a player, obviously. But so what you made of him? Because this is his third season, right? His third season.
Well, the fact that it's taken him 3 years to get accustomed and acclimated to it, I mean, shows the level of where the Prem is right now. I think he's good. What my biggest criticism of the player, I think he's an average Prem winger. That's my biggest criticism at his lowest point. Now he's shown this year that there's more to that than that. So I'll eat my crow when he does this consistently over the year. And so 3 years to finally start to produce consistently. Now, granted, you need a coach and a system that works, and that's the other thing that matters here. From a production standpoint, I think where he is, if this is what he is for the rest of the time, I think that's fine for him. I think at the Premier League, there's more players there, and if you simplify his role at the club and make things a little bit easier, I think if he starting and says that more, then you have to keep in mind defensive responsibilities. You have to take into mind all those other things. I think that doesn't always suit the player well. I think his role right now, where he's more super subbish than that, I know he's gotten starts recently as well, but where his role is now, I think that suits the player for this league currently. Does that now translate over the rest of the year? I want to see that. I think they do have the ability to do that. But ultimately, I am impressed that he's finally found his form here. It's how I feel about Bailey so far this year. And if he can keep it consistent, that's going to be the cast. He has 3 months until international duty comes a calling. So he has 3 months to either rest or maintain that form. And that's going to be the hard thing. He's going to have lulls. He's going to have peaks, valleys, that much time. That usually happens. But can he stay in that same type of a pocket between now and then Nations League semis will be something that I'll be keeping an eye on to see kind of how that looks. Because, again, the more competitive this region is, the better it is for all the teams. So I think it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. But I'm glad after 3 years, it seems like he's found his footing with this coach in this league where now he's able to at least justify that he can play at this level. Is he worth the investment? I mean, he technically wins this because Jadon Sancho has been a disaster for Man U. So
and the money that they paid for him, paid for him, it's not much. So to be honest, we just saw Buchanan linked 50 million. You understand me? Obviously, we know that he could go to City and it will be around 25 to 35 max, but that is still more than Liam Bailey. So the fact that he goes for that, I think it's even though he failed in the first 2 seasons because of injury problems and everything, I still believe that it's still a success based on how little they paid for him. So I'm looking at how little. I know Aston Villa fans would say it's not a success because they had to wait too long and it could have cost them relegation. Totally understand that, but remember the player was not fit. You get me? So if you're not fit, you can't play. You get me? It's not like he's fit and never played good. Some of the games, definitely was poor. He was one of the most substituted player last season. So let me make sure we put those things here. So I can understand, but that was the bounce back after injury here. And I'm not making excuse for Liam Bailey, but after injury here, you have to come back in and try find your form. The club was up and down. You understand me? The club was up and down. So with all of that, I think him couldn't find his foot because they couldn't find their foot as well as a club. So now the coach came in and the coach have an identity and he has the information that he could just work with. He is working better, Yes.
Yeah,
All right,
and I
let
think
me
also yeah. Go 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 go
one
go.
second, Africans, one second. Parish Council, I have named out the two tournaments that he played in Europe and also the Premier League. So the reason why we have done that, Parish Council, is not to belittle a player, is to say that why we can't get him in the Premier League a little bit more, and both of them, like why he can't play so much minutes, because all of the other high quality players, them, they can play both games. And they don't have the rest because the period is spaced out. But even when it's spaced out, not just the December period, but normal period, Liam Bailey seems like he wants rest. So that's what we're talking about, Parish Council. It's not to belittle the player. It is not to belittle the player. Go ahead, Africans. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and I think sometimes, because I mean, Chapelet just said something. I'm like, yeah, but that's not bad, right? Like if you are an average Prem League winger, that isn't bad. But then that's what he's performed at. Now he's now had a peak recently. Does he now maintain that? Right? Because we don't value and we don't evaluate people based off their peaks. We evaluate them over their consistency. Because ultimately, if I'm going to judge Leon Bailey, I'm going to say, oh, right now he's playing well, so that now he's the greatest thing ever. No, I'm going to say he's reached a level. Now, if he stays consistent, then now we look at him in that bracket of play. And right now, that's been the problem. Now, if you want to blame injuries, not to say they're an excuse, injuries happen, but then recovery for injuries is on both the club and the player. Right, the club can try to put you in a position to succeed. The player can put themselves in a position to actually recover. Those two things come together. So I think ultimately, the player is showing that he can play at a level right now. Now, is this just going to be he's just going to be on a heater for 3 months and that's it, or is this the level that people that say that he can play at? Injuries will play their role in it, but ultimately, right now, I'm like, okay, that's where you are, but based off the duration, injuries are not. His baseline has been average Prem League winger, and that's not a bad thing. But
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
and I don't think he has proven himself. I know A saying that he does not proven himself to pass the average bracket as yet, because you have average and then good. You can't be a good prem player and you have not gotten a good season as yet. So he has to finish the season, and then we see what he has to do next season. Then we can just jump the average, go straight to good next season. All right, so we can just go straight to good next season if he continues this form. You know, understand me? Because we could blame it on, oh, it was because he was injured. It was because of Aston Villa changing coaches every single minute. You understand me? But at this point, he has not proven that he surpasses an average winger as yet. You understand me? Yes. So we have to be honest to ourselves. We can look at it both sides. So we can remember it's a performance basis, You get me? If you say that he has the talent to be an above average and a very good winger in the Premier League, yes, you can say that. But if you have not done it, you can't say that. You can't say that. JD, Bailey was gonna exceed expectations this year, given I see that Unai Emery was gonna prioritize him being healthy. Okay. Yeah, man, we're just saying you have to base it on performances. That's all. And overall, an average EPL player is at a top player in Europe. Yes, and he's a top player in Europe. Look at his records in the Conference League. In the Conference League, he played 5 games, started 4. He had 1 goal, 2 assists in the Conference League. So that is a good return. That is above average in the Conference League.
Is it just triggering words, JD? Because I feel like we've all said the same thing here. He's an average Premier League player, or is it just because I say the word average, people are like, he's not?
Yeah, man. You remember our culture. Even yesterday, the coach said our culture is a very strong culture. It is like we have to use the big words and the greatest. And I've always tell my Jamaican people, if we keep on doing that, we are going to lose ourselves easily, because people can come in and manipulate you and just tell you some things that you want to hear at your ears and just take everything in 2023, and you wonder if it was slavery. You understand me? Yes, they can just come and tell you that you're the greatest thing and you're going to be the best thing and take your kids them from you. We need to put things in context a little bit more. All right, we need to put things in context. 3 weeks ago, Liam Bailey was not even started for Aston Villa. You understand me? Yes. So we can't make a narrative as to 3 weeks later. It has to be consistency. Now, JD has a hard time telling Jamaican Leon Bailey is just all right. He doesn't want to offend them, knowing how they would react. No, man, I agree with the Africans, but with time, yeah. Do you think Bailey has become a starter in the league now? Based on what I've seen, no, because now he's going to rotate, and then we have to see if he keeps the form based on the rotation. The rotation is not because of what he's doing, because of it does his strength, his body strength, and he can't keep up. So we are not going to blame him for that. Or some would blame him for that because some would say you're a professional. So you can't just keep up, your body just can't keep up after so long, So I don't think he's a starter as yet. I just want him to get over this. The parish council, a lot of things in Jamaica is below average, way below average, and a lot of things in a different country is way below average. You understand? We have to just face reality, parish council. I don't talk like you talk because I'm not in Jamaica to talk like that. More things in Jamaica is, in a worldly standard, is below average than above average. All right. Yes, because we just don't have that luxury to push our things them to the top. So our footballers them coming out, they are way below average. You understand me? And you said that yourself, they are way below average. So and we are talking about football here, but several other things are below average. Parish council, and that is not a disrespect to my country. I've gone several other places in Poland. Poland have average things there. Even their economy sometimes is average. You understand me? So what about this overhyping? Parish council, if I had used that same principle and said that I'm better than everybody and going to work, parish council, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I have to face reality, and reality is just reality. You understand me? Yes. So let me be honest to ourselves, man. Is average the right word? Question. Or a good player? But who put us average as well? I think they put my boy them as average as well. If you want to change the word, you change the word. I have no problem. Just work with it all you want. I am just saying that he needs more time to prove himself. That's all,
Yeah, and I think for him, that Jason answered it from my perspective, I think availability matters for opportunity, right? Like, I'm not going to compare both players here, but like, look at a player like Alphonso Davies, right? Alphonso Davies went to Bayern as a winger, had an opportunity present because he was available to play left back, and then he got in, and then he's never looked back from there. So I think the one thing that is concerning is he's playing at a level, but is he going to be available to take advantage of those opportunities now? And if that's on his fitness level, then that's the biggest knock on him. His fitness availability is always going to be there. So I think, has he done enough to start? He's had a run of good games. He's had a run of good form. No one's denying that. The question now becomes, can he now maintain that and be available enough so that when those opportunities come, he is there to take advantage of them?
We have to wait and see.
Exactly.
Right? We have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So I don't think you said anything bad. Maybe you used the wrong word because you're not a Jamaican. You're just using a word that you think describe the situation. But you have to exaggerate when you talk Jamaica. All right? Yes, man. You can it's God, just exaggerate, as what I will coach Jamaica for free. I am the only one know the problem. Magic change. All right. I hope you can do that. But Liam Bailey is in exceptional form, and if he can keep it up, definitely jumps from the average to good and going up. If he can keep this form up for the rest of the year. But obviously, we know that the rest of the year comes down to a team performance. All right. So if his team not performing, it's hard for him to drag them. You understand me? It's going to be very, very tough. All right. So congratulations to Leon Bailey. Keep the farm up, man, and keep on doing the great thing because we want to see you do your best. All right. We always want to see you do your best. Yes. All right. And Parish Council, please listen to understand me. Because that's the problem with me now, Parish Council. I am not the thing when your people say you have to talk a certain way because you have to be patriotic. I have no time for that foolishness. All right, because I know that I'm patriotic, but people are spinning narrative. People just want to be flat out delusional. You understand me? Because remember, in life is you have to know where you are in order to progress. So if you keep on telling yourself that you're great, what else is there to aspire to? Because greatness, the greatest Africans, have you learned a word above the greatest? I just wanted to explain that to me. Have you ever heard a word be above the greatest? So why are
I
we the
have
greatest
not.
in
No.
everything? Why are we the greatest in everything but turn out poor in everything? So what is there to aspire to? So all I'm saying is, Parish Council, you can find better ways to G yourself up. But facing reality is the best way to G yourself up because at least you know what is there to aspire to. So you can prepare for it. It's called being educated and not delusional. You understand me? So that is what I have used to reach places in life. And that is what the I believe me, I know this is how majority of the people that I've met in Jamaica thinks. And I've always tried to convince them for the last almost 40 years. All right. And I don't think much changed because you are proving to me that much haven't changed to this point. All right. All right, let me change this away. So, big up to you, big up yourself, Sherman. One love, big up yourself. Thanks for being here, JD. What you problem today, brother? What problem I have? Remember, we are the biggest, strongest, and the fastest, sir. I don't have a problem. I was just trying to explain to my brothers and sisters that if you leave Jamaica, maybe the only way to get on with people is to face reality. The delusional behavior cannot really go over, or else you're not going to reach nowhere more than back into Jamaica, which you're not going to have nothing. So in order to reach somewhere, you have to see the goal out there. I heard Leon Bailey, a guy that you cherish, said the same thing. He said the same thing. You have to work hard, hold your head down because you're rivaling other people. You have to keep on learning. They have said the same thing. And I'm just saying, based on my experience, and that's just pretty much it. Real ball. I'm not going to tell my people any lies because I want my people them to be as successful as myself. Because I do deem myself successful because I reach somewhere that I am comfortable with. And I would wish all of my people them the same place. So I will always tell you as it is. It doesn't matter how you're going to look at it. Because I know when you're sitting down or laying down in a bed, you realize that, oh, damn, the man I tell you the truth, you know? Me not for the wait on a man where white for come tell him the same thing 3 years down the line. Or I need to bleach out him face for come and tell me the same thing in order for me to accept it. In your mind, are we on YouTube watching you in a one bedroom with zinc fence and a slice of bread? I think Parish Council, I think you're Parish Council, you lose it sometimes, we great Jamaicans are the greatest in any and everything. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Parish Council. I believe that we have to work hard. I don't believe nobody is the greatest in anything. I believe everybody in this world have to work hard to achieve anything because if you keep on selling, because next thing now, I don't want to divert from it because I have limited time. I have like 20 more minutes. But Parish Council, if you think like that, first thing, you're going to be lazy because you don't have nothing else to achieve. So you're going to keep on saying you're the greatest, and you're going to look for handouts for people to put you in positions. For me, I know that I'm not the greatest. I know that I'm not the smartest. I know that I'm not the brightest. But once you put it on the table, I'm going to start studying it and become something of relevance in that particular category. And that serves me much better than a lot more people. So I will move on from their parish council because I don't think you can tell me something sane that can tackle what I've just said. Because there's no other sane things in the world you could say to me that can tackle that. It doesn't matter how bright you are in your Jamaican brain cells of greatness. It's not going to come off sensible to nobody else in the world aside from you and your people. All right? But not me. I am not one of those Jamaicans that would believe you. All right? Yeah, man. And I'm okay with that. Yes. So go ahead, Mr. Jason, because I have limited time. So go ahead. I don't know if you want to chop up every single thing, what you wanted to chop up. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, big up JD, big up Africans, big up everybody in the chat. Yeah, no, just to talk about this, we're talking about now as far as Bailey. I think Africans make a good point about availability. In all honesty, at times that is like the most important ability to have, and I think that's really what get out Bailey in terms of player in the league, because you can see that the attributes are there. When he plays well, he tends to have performances that are spoken about by obviously all the Jamaicans, but also the media over there as well. They were very high on him in the Man City game. They also were talking about that in the Arsenal game. So it's a player that, he divides opinion because I think honestly it all comes down to the mentality and the fitness levels. I think it's something that when you look at the players, you kind of see, their body types and stuff. I'll never forget, like, when after one of the Jamaica games recently, when the players were, giving away the jerseys and stuff, Leon Bailey didn't quite look how, you'd expect a professional footballer to look in terms of his shape, and I think it's one of the
Be careful of your
getting
word,
injured.
Jason, on the platform. You're in a Jamaican space. You're not an American. But the man's shape. Continue. Sorry about that. I just had to make sure alert you as to
I understand.
you can't use certain words.
I understand the people them go why and all these things, but it's me just trying to figure out why the player is so frequently not available. And I think a part of it is, I think he could do better
because of him shape.
The upkeep of his physical, fitness. I mean, I think that's something that causes an issue. But yeah, Kerry and Spence, you make me know at stake. Your name Kerry, and so you can talk freely about this. But I'm trying to dance around the words to use, but people should understand what I'm trying to say here. I mean, I want one bag of wise to pop up. So I'm left off of the Leon Bailey thing. Just touching on the Gold Cup, the women, really quick. The Gold Cup is going to be from February to March. Is it that the leagues are going to go on a break for that? Africans or JD?
It's a
no,
FIFA,
they're not.
I think they're gonna show respect. I think they're gonna work on it, man. Believe me. Money running now, it's a whole heap of money you put in.
The dates are February 20 or 17 to like March 10. And I don't know of any international windows being so long.
Just
so
money run. Stop trying to figure out things when that big money are run. Ladies football a whole heap of money now.
Africans, it sounds like you have a thought in your brain that might be a little more coherent. So can I hear what you're saying?
No, the FIFA, the window, it's just a designated time slot for it. So it's the same thing as AFCON happening every 2 years in January. It's just there. The leagues don't stop for it. So it's up to the clubs if they want to release the players for it or not. And so that's where it goes in. So from a European schedule, it works best for those types of teams. But then ultimately for North American leagues, they wouldn't have started by then, but still you'd be good. So you'll be fine on the aspects. So they'll just be happening regardless of the season going. So if Chelsea wants to lose, all their 3 players, they'll lose 3 players because that's the reality of it. So
yeah. So basically the European players will be the ones that will have to have their clubs.
Yeah, man, I finish up a point too. Just pass the can get to come in on the same piece.
Yeah.
Because I'm not take past the 20 minutes more now. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay.
Let's try to make sure Pastor chance to come
No,
in
so
and
yeah,
speak.
so they'll release their time and they'll go from there. So that'll be the interesting thing with it. There isn't. I don't know why. Well, they can't do it in the summer, which it would have been a normal year to do it, just because the Olympics are happening. So having it happen in February, March is usually the window for it. So that's no surprise for it. We're not going to have a whole, because this always then comes with, well, why is AFCON this? Because we don't have the weather in Africa.
I know.
Pastor, Pastor, I've sent the link in the chat now, so let's try it.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor, because I have limited time. And I have to wait on Africans to come back because maybe you were saying something. So go ahead, Pastor. What do you want to talk about?
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, so we have talked about several things, Pastor. So let's touch them and let's be very clear and be coherent.
Yes.
As well. Yes. On the points then.
Yes.
Yeah. We have limited time.
The first thing, the persons who are upset about Africans' choice of word, average, obviously did not go through the basic school system. So they do not have the wherewithal to assimilate the grade system that we all use in school. Because an average player has managed to obtain the basic passing grade. So there is nothing negative, so to speak, regarding the use of the word average. A person that is above average would have ascertained a B grade, and a person that is
all right, so
even though I don't use the word great so loosely, you would have to be getting consistently an A grade to be considered great for you to use that word, even though I don't like to use it that way. So you have good, better, and best. Best would be what they call great. Good is average. Better is a B passing grade. And the best would be you getting an A all the time. So I believe people like Parish Council, who is struggling with the word in the chat and fighting to the point where he's become irrelevant. Just go back to your classroom setting. You went through the school system at some point. You get a C, you know that you're an average student. You get a B, you're above average. And you get an A, you're at the best place. So that is what I will say on that. JD, you're talking, I'm not hearing you.
No, Pastor, I say you should continue talking. I was just
okay.
To the problem, yeah. So I know what's going on.
Okay. So on the matter of Leon Bailey's form, this is how we want him to be, and long may it continue. And that would move him from an average player, because if he did not obtain the average passing grade, they would not have kept him. They would have gotten rid of him at the first opportunity. So, but because he wasn't an abject failure or he wasn't below average, they kept him, hoping that he would improve, which he has shown signs, or he has shown improvement in the recent future. So long may that continue, and we just give the man him flowers while he's able to smell the fragrance. He's doing well, and we celebrate that. We also pray that it translates into the international space when he puts on the Reggae Boy shirt. JD, I am going to the troubled topic that you had, the troubled subject matter.
Okay, Pastor. Go ahead.
Jamaica Football Federation is akin to the negative political leadership that we have had for decades. And it is not surprising to me that Bona Shaw or any of the World Cup celebrated team by the rest of the world is not celebrated in Jamaica in a wide enough space where there was even one of them nominated for the Sportswoman of the Year. It's not surprising to me because the JFF literally controls the media space in Jamaica. You look at all of the men who operate in the JFF and look at who their supporters are. All of the major media spaces, media houses in Jamaica support these men. And that is why they got away with all of the atrocities they have gotten away with for so long without it becoming international public knowledge. So, for all of those who are trying to pussyfoot around and meander around the subject matter, the sole reason none of those girls were not nominated is because of the impasse with the JFF. The sports foundation and the political side of Jamaica is not taking on the war that they perceive to be a war that is purely the failure of the JFF as it relates to the female program. And I will leave that as it relates to the Sportswoman of the Year. It is not far-fetched that she could win, but she would have major competition from Sharika because Sharika is the double Diamond League winner. So she would have major fans. It is a slap in the face because you cannot find what Shelly and Fraser Price, which is one of our more celebrated female athletes, achieved, is not equal to what Bona Shaw achieved. It is not. So to have all of these ladies nominated and not have Bona Shaw nominated is pure wickedness. And that is because they are supporting the JFF. I'll move on from that too. That's where that point ends.
Yes.
I think that if we're going to look at the cost of failing to make the World Cup, it should inform us.
Pastor, your baby doesn't make nice?
Yes, there's a 2-year-old in the house. It's not my baby.
Right.
It's not my baby.
Do you think?
It's not my baby. Yes. That's Savannah. She's happy and running up and down. So the failure to make the Gold Cup should inform us the length to which the JFF administration will go to get at someone that is not singing from their hymn sheet. Because I am sure that if any of the administrators in the JFF had done their duty, they would have known the shortfall of not making it to the Gold Cup. So their decision to suspend the girls was calculative.
Sherman, Pastor don't get 12 hours. He's speaking, and I just want him to say his piece. Everybody come on, just come on him, get him time, and I give Pastor him time. All right? And when we done, everybody say them final piece and me leave. All right, Sherman? Oh my God. So if you don't, Pastor, you start out Sherman, please, God. Read the chat.
No, I am not going to sort out no man.
Yes.
JDY.
All right. So
anyway,
sorry.
Anyway, this JFF has shown us what lengths they are willing to go to get rid of, and I'm not going to stop saying it, JD, because of how the Vin Blaine situation went down, which should not have happened, because the JFF should never have put Vin Blaine in that position. So I'm not even blaming Vin Blaine. I'm keeping the fire at JFF. Because they know. But the fact that exactly what Vin Blade want to do or has been credited with Burton in the Jamaica football space is the exact modus operandi of this JFF administration. That's why they did it, and that is why they continue to fight that fight. And I'm going to clearly say it and stop. Sidela Marley is the biggest thorn, or for a Jamaican term, maca, in the JFF flesh, simply because she has progressed, prospered as much as she have, where they have failed miserably. And you see, if you want to be a real big man, and that is why, despite all of Captain Burrell's failure, I still have great respect for him. If you want to be a real big man, yeah, no, I finish. If you want to be a real big man, this is how you operate as a real big man. Captain Burrell knew that it was not within the scope of the JFF financially, nor from a professional standpoint where they loved female football enough to get it done. So he outsourced it. If the JFF want to be a big man any day, they do what Captain did. They had the opportunity to put it in their manifesto, so you would always have an ambassador. But they made sure, not the manifesto, the constitution document, but they didn't, because they want to literally get rid of Sidila Mali. And that's where I stop.
All right. Thank you very much, Sir Pastor. Joseph, massive respect. Yeah, people, hit the like button on the video. I have not seen them up to 200. It's not up to 200. So let's see. It's not up to 100. So yeah. Yeah, man. So Pastor said his piece, and people said they agree with Pastor. Some says Pastor should stop talk, Sherman, and other people. So yeah, I totally understand where you guys coming from. But Pastor, as he say, other people talk about JFF every day because them are JFF floor clock. Them not have nothing else to talk about. So if Pastor talk about the same thing, I not understand how you disrespect other people and have nothing to talk about. Them make up story and them just talk about JFF floor. Them just be a JFF floor clock, pretty much. So I not understand why wanna be Pastor. You have to be honest to yourself, you know. But as technique, I not watch other programs. Clearly, me not watch it because been on the time. But people, every time somebody either call me name or try insinuate things about me, they sent it to me, and it's always JFF them I talk about. So then, why is it Pastor can't talk about or it don't look good over? Yeah, but me I said every day at JFF the people talk about them just make up some story and just go with JFF because them have to talk because either them mouth can't wire up or something, and them have to start about JFF. It went every day football play, but clearly they don't watch football, they don't watch nothing else, they just make up story and just start about. Yeah, but me know, but me I say why is it to have a problem with Pastor, but at the same thing happen every day on these programs? You know, so that's all I'm saying. We have to split it down the middle and be honest. Obviously, for me not always talk about JFF because me I watch the other games them. I'm interested in football a little bit different. And if you leave it up to me, you don't watch them, okay, no problem. Well, I'm just saying for me it's always football. You understand me? And people says them actually agree with Pastor, you know. Them agree with him. For me don't know what Pastor talk about because me not really try to care about the JFF much. More than if football not play, me upset if football not play. You understand me? Because of that I really want to see playing. And that's just my take. Me gonna make Jason go ahead, same final take, and then Pastor make him final take shorter. I think he might already get him final take, you know? But
yeah, so
you know, I'm gonna give you my next take, you know? Yeah.
My final take was actually gonna be about what Pastor was talking about with the whole Bona Shaw not being nominated. So you know, one thing that I notice is we have to look at these nominations and try to put context to it, right? So I see people in the chat immediately shooting down Bona Shaw because she's not a world champion, right? Because clearly we have track and field athletes on the women's side that are world champions. But what I would like to say about the context is Jamaica would be considered a top 2 nation in sprinting in the world, right? And for that reason, it's obviously going to be more likely that we have athletes that finish first, second, third in the world, because that's where we have attained. That's the level that we have attained. Now in football, Jamaica just cracked into the top 40, usually a top 50 to top 60 team, right? When you look at the Ballon d'Or and the nominees for the Ballon d'Or, I want people to look at how many of those nominees are playing for teams in the top 10 in world football. So to have a player that's playing for a 30-yard, 40-yard ranked team be nominated for the best player in the world, that is a remarkable achievement. And I don't think that the committee that picks these nominations actually put enough credence to that fact. It is clear the things that Bona Shaw did, coming from where she's coming from and the team that she represents internationally, to be at Manchester City and be in the fight for the Golden Boot, tie for the Golden Boot, win CONCACAF Player of the Year over players that play for teams that are the top team in the world. So I don't think that they're taking enough into account the context that's included with the achievements that she has made. Nobody would expect a Jamaican to be nominated in football for the Ballon d'Or. That is not something that you would think would happen. And for that reason, for her not to be nominated is crazy. I understand if she get nominated and she doesn't win. I totally understand that. But for her not to be nominated, it's clear it was not based on her achievements or anything. It had way more to do with her comments during the World Cup, because every single Jamaican at the time, regardless of what she said, all they had to say about it was, this will make Jamaica look bad. And my thing is, if you're doing things bad, you're going to look bad anyway, regardless of who says it or who talks about it. So we can't blame Bonnie for saying something if it's actually the truth. How can you blame her for that? But anyway, she should have been a nominee, and that's my final thing.
All right, thanks. Yeah, sure, man. We ain't mixing up nothing. And from I'm here, we are talking about football. The whole program I'm talking about football. And everybody, I can't block my program and don't put nobody on it. It's going to be very hard for me to do that, Sherman. So I gave everybody the opportunity. Yesterday I did my program myself. Obviously because I'm going to stay on the topics that I want to stay on. But you have to understand that everybody have a voice. So yeah, I'm very sorry about that, man. All right, so sorry that you don't like it. As Trey Moon says, Shaw deserve nothing. And the S Technique says, S Technique, you know the problem with me have S Technique. Me hear a few persons talk about people not buying a ticket, and them always a look free ticket, because me literally have an incident came up and them literally said them no want to do nothing to jeopardize them freeness. So it's technique, you have to be honest to ourselves. We are being hypocritical in our speech. And it's like, maybe not me and you, maybe not me and you, because every game, even when I say I buy ticket, people call me and I give them ticket. I give them money some way for buy ticket. So just pastor might buy ticket and we don't know, my brother. I just think we are harsh on people that come on the screens, but we don't give these vloggers the same pressure as to how we deal with an average man come on the screen. And until we look at everybody the same, because we are the damn same. You understand me? Yes, we need to change. We need to change that behavior, my brother. All right, because it's rough. It's rough when people can tell us people now buy ticket when a freeness them a look. You understand me? That makes no. So make we just live on the right side of the truth, no? So Pastor, you said you're gonna contribute to the next time when we are gonna buy tickets. So we're gonna put that public, and everything we do we put public, because we don't want no credit for it. So we just put it public, So Pastor will put in money next time, and then nobody can say me put no money. All right, but Pastor say please, we only have a limited minutes. All right, and then
Okay,
yeah, me have to go for the kid. Go ahead.
Jason, I'm going to put the parallel to what you just said. Deon Burton was nominated. No. I'm just saying
All right.
the parallel to what Jason said is that Deon Burton was nominated. Deon Burton was nominated for Sportsman of the Year when we went to World Cup '98 during that time. Bona Shaw is the single highest goal scorer for Jamaica. So you could say Bona Shaw, like Deon Burton, took Jamaica to the World Cup twice. How is she not nominated? JD, for all the persons who talk about people who talk and don't buy tickets, I'm not a public figure operating in a public space that I need to produce my financial statement to show how much. No,
Pastor, none of the public figures they don't buy nothing. I lie them at
no, I know. I totally agree with what you're saying. And they're not. And watch this. All of what talk about them need transparency. They are not. You remember how Mr. Speed reverse fast when he asked me about budget, about him not see budget. And watch this now.
Pastor, stop worried. Stop worried. The man the same piece, but me just tell you say, me so me say, me they in a space and I can say anything I want, and I can back it up with facts. All right.
Good.
So
and if no, I'm not arguing it. I'm making a public statement that without programs like yours that buy ticket and give to people, I send money to Jamaica for people who go a match. My friend them will go a match because me know they are Jamaica for go a match.
Yeah, man. And just
but that is nobody business. If I give you $1, that is nobody business for me. I go up on the public international space and broadcast and me give JD $1. That don't make no sense.
Yes, because you never beg.
Me not do it for notoriety.
You have to broadcast it. Yeah, man. Me totally understand.
Me not do that for notoriety. So all who want belly, it was a good program. I listened to most of it. So you know.
It's a good program, Pastor. You're gonna make German do something, you know.
No, hello, you're not gonna use me as excuse for feel to go Gemma there, you know. Me stop. You need to go get Gemma.
People take care. All I'm saying is just be fair across when you're doing your analysis every time. No one is above criticism. All right? Yes, because some of the things that we're not blaming other people for, the next people on the hype up not do nothing. Just the same. All right? Yeah, man. So on no respect, you know, try over hype somebody else, and then no respect the next man, because on the thing say that man is not fooling a kettle of fish or something. Analyze first, and then you can realize things better. All right. So people, smash the like button on your way out and take care of yourself. We will try our best to always buy ticket and keep on buying ticket, but we don't always have to come and produce it, because we never really beg nobody for the ticket them, or beg nobody for your boots, beg nobody for your car or a house to just buy that shit, because that is nothing. All right. And we just move on. We not look nothing for it. All right. Yes, so we just understand if a man no want to produce that, it no matter, because he never take $1 from you. Maybe why people have to produce it because them take people money. So look at that as well. All right, yeah, man. So take care on yourself, be safe, be very safe in the Gideon, wherever you are. All right, yes, because I don't want Parish Council to believe that I'm always harsh on Jamaica. All right, so take care, Parish Council. Sleep well. Bye bye.